Hello, today we are going to read a story called Old Seal Eyes. We hold our bodies through a gap of stone, entering into a narrow chamber. The walls were lined with skittering insects, and from beneath the stone, far under my feet, I could sense the flap of Irish fish swimming blindly in pools of black water. A dim circle of yellow from our flashlights struck the cave wall. Crystal tails disturbed crawled along the wall out of the light and retreated into the darkness. Catherine, my tall and tan companion, grinned at me, but stopped when she saw the expression on my face. She searched my eyes to check if I was okay. It's fine, just not much further, please. I don't like how weak the torch is. That's fine, Ma, I guess. I don't fancy feeling along the sides of the caverns blindly to make it black out. It just seems such a shame to have something so exciting, so close, that you've never explored. Unable to think of why, I shrugged and let her lead the way. I lightly gripped the back of her hand loosely overall to let her guide me. Cowardice, that was the reason. I tried to shove the utmost paralyzing fear deep into my stomach. Best to not think of spiders, but not to think about what could be creeping, oozing, and scurrying from above and behind in the blackness. Push back your shoulders, open your chest, and just breathe normally. But how can you breathe normally when every step feels like another nail in the coffin? Hey, way out, I exclaimed. Please, Catherine, even if you want to keep going, I just need a quick breath. 5. To the right, high on the wall, a circle roughly the shape of the size of a mantle. Catherine pulled herself upwards, her feet kicking and pedaling into the air. I followed her with considerably more effort, finally scrambling to my feet beside her. Looking up, I was immediately struck with odd dread. Great blades of knee-length grass, if indeed it could be called grass, waved and curled like tentacles in the windless air. The cloudless sky was like the white sovereign's eye, crossed over with vein-like streaks of black. We were standing amongst the field in the world drained of color, and I felt poisoned with some of the pervading and evil unnaturalness. The air was dead and deadly silent. A short distance off, the land declined and we could see a smoke-colored waves that churned and broke angrily against a sandy beach. Looking at the grass, I wondered if this was what result when a person with black and white color blindness took psychedelics. What in the hell? Catherine whispered beside me. I looked to the waves. Why aren't they making any sound? She looked at me incredulously. Is that the only thing you've noticed? The sky. Please tell me you've seen the sky and the grass. Freaky, I nodded. Catherine stepped deeper into the grass and shuddered as she felt the grass lick her hands. I simply watched as Catherine walked towards the beach and came out onto the sand. I looked down at my feet and contemplated following, but as I looked up, I realized she had gone. All of a sudden, I was alone in a strange world and started to panic. Catherine! I didn't need to yell loudly for my voice to carry, but there was no reply. I felt the fear rising and rising. I became unable to As if standing, waiting for her to return, I shouldered 3 items. I'm not sure why. Perhaps because I thought these things would make me feel safer. I swallowed and waded into the grass, which moved around my legs like the strand of a mermaid, following wet hair underwater. I felt strangely oppressed by the grey sky overhead and noticed that black veiny pattern I had noticed before, moving very slowly, like it was growing to cover the sky, almost like ivy does to old buildings and wooden fences. Stepping through the gas was like trying to walk on the water. Every step seemed sluggish. My feet struggled to cut through the dense vegetation. After a while, the grass stopped, and I stepped clear of it into the beach. The sand, I noticed now that I was closer, was not only grey, but moved ever so slightly around my feet. Almost unnoticeable ripples broke out around me and radiated outwards from whenever I stepped, in a way that was very alive. These ripples did not last long before the protruding sand dropped back into its entirety. I looked left and right, but there was no signs of Catherine. Only endless beach stretching out on either side. I picked up a piece of driftwood and scratched the arrow pointing back to the way I had came, before turning right and looking in the direction I'd seen Catherine go, all the while softly calling me, "Catherine, hey Catherine." But my voice was all that broke the silence. I walked for what seemed an eternity, but grew uncertain. The beach stretched out uninterrupted on either side, so if she was on the beach, how could I have not seen her? Walking began to feel pointless, so I turned around and once again was paralyzed with fear. A figure sat crouched in the inclined planes of sand about 20 or so meters away, staring at me with eyes black and without pupils, like the eyes of a seal. It was cadaverous and skeletal, 4 freakish thin and long limbs attached to a rib cage, tightly bound with grey skin. The skeleton was in no way a human one. In its crouched position, the knees and the mouths above the creature's head, the arms extended in front and ending in 10 curved foot-long fingers, each tipped with black claw. It had no mouth. No, wait. It did. As I watched the bottom of the face split like tearing fabrics, and the tipless mouth peeled back to reveal a mouth filled with small teeth, but sharpened like our human cannons. So I couldn't make a sound. I couldn't move. All I could do was stare back into the creature's eyes. Those old seal eyes. And stand there helplessly. Where had it come from? How could I have possibly moved back it to get back to the Darrens? I heard a faint, muffled screaming from up to my left. I kept my distance from the creature, circumventing it until I was standing in the grass rather than the sand. The creature's head moved slowly, its eyes fixed on me. Painfully I broke the gaze of the creature, but I wouldn't dare turn my back on it. I had to scream again and saw a splash of blue denim and blonde hair fanned out on the ground. The grass was slashed around Catherine's body, but it also ran down her throat. Trying to stop the screaming, she was covered in gashes, done neatly and precisely in straight horizontal lines across her entire body. Blood splashed onto the grey grass, staining it red. Christ, oh Jesus Christ, Catherine, oh my God, Catherine. I plucked at the grass down to her mouth. wide eyes staring up at me, her pupils minuscule in those large brown irises. I thought through the gas, still shuddering at the texture of it. Those strands that I managed to break withered and red before they went limp like dying snakes. In seconds, Catherine's mouth was unobstructed, and she coughed up more of the grass, which I saw it sliced her tongue and the roof of her mouth. The moment she could speak, she screamed at me, "Run, for God's sakes, run, you idiot!" At the sound of her voice, the creature began to move. I turned towards him, and our eyes looked once more. Ridiculously long, skeleton legs began to bend, pulling the creature into a standing position. It was tall, impossibly tall. The disproportionate ribcage still hinged, the mouth growing wider and wider, and feeling more and more of its tiny, sharp teeth. 100 teeth, 200, 1,000. It stepped towards me and Catherine. I knew it would only take a few to reach us. I kept tearing at the grass that bound Catherine, but even as I did so, more of it grew, and all the while she was screaming, "What are you doing, Mar? For God's sakes, you need to get it. It's coming, it's too late to get the light me around." But I kept tearing for as long as possible, and she thrashing in the grass before the creature reached us, and he's standing over us, and I ran. Some of the grass makes half-hearted attempts to bite my ankle as I go, but I easily break free. I know that this world has been satisfied by Catherine. The creature doesn't chase me, but I can still hear it tearing into Catherine's body. The screaming stops, and I just know it's torn her throat out. The sound is pulsing excitedly, making strange shapes as if an expression of pleasure. The black streaks in the sky move faster. Back at the entrance to the cavern, I threw myself through it all. I barely noticed those bog-lined walls. Don't even bother turning on the torch before scrambling through the gap in the stone and sprinting through cavern after cavern until I'm thrust into a world filled with light and color. Crying, weeping, gasping, the blood from my cut ankles bleeding in the soil, I make my way back to my car, jam the keys, and drive as far away as possible, hearing to relieve the sound of the roaring engine and the birds and tires and horns and wind. Through parties where in the cavern, they don't believe me. Of course they don't. There's no gap in the rocks, no grey and carnivorous world, but I can never forget the creature, can never forget the star of those black, pupilless, incredible old seal eyes. I hope that you guys enjoyed the story. Please have a wonderful day.